John, Sheldon said after the doubleheader that training camp is over now, the preseason begins. Do you believe with that sort of mindset that you're getting a little bit more serious now?
Well, I think it's always serious. I don't think your attitude really changes, but maybe just a little bit of the shift of the anticipation in the first few days, the excitement, some of the butterflies and the jitters. Obviously, get through some of the tough skates and some of the testing that you do. And obviously, good to get that first game under your belt. So, just kind of diving in deeper a little bit more the way we want to play and getting into our identity and some of those things, and continue to kind of elevate and for us to keep pushing every day, get ready for game one of the season.
What are your impressions of Dennis Malgin? Have you noticed any improvements in his game since the last time he was with the team?
Well, he's probably just a little bit more familiar with his surroundings. Even just, I think, off the ice. He's a pretty quiet, shy kind of guy, but you can tell he's opening up a lot more. And obviously had a really good season last season overseas, and just seems really confident in his game. Obviously out there with him today, just thought we talk amongst each other well. So, I think Malkin's got a lot of potential and obviously a really strong skill set.
What have you thought of Fraser Minton?
I think he's just really soaking it all in, and obviously a very heady player, smart. Just a joy to be around. I think he's a tremendous kid. Got to be with him a couple times in the summertime as well. After development camp, he stayed in town for a little bit. So, great kid. I think we got a good one in him.
What do you say when you see the young prospects who are sort of maybe wide-eyed and coming into their first camp?
I think I just asked them how they're doing, how they're enjoying it, what's it's like, what's their experience, and if there's something I can share from either when I was younger, going through it, or the things that I remember that I was feeling. It's funny to kind of just share in comparison to that stuff, and for them just continuously give them confidence in themselves. They're a big part of our organization and our team going forward. So just continue to develop those relationships and push them and help them believe in themselves and obviously their abilities, and obviously to enjoy all these firsts, especially the guys at first camp, going through for the first time, first games wearing the Maple Leaf and NHL sweater, being out there. It's obviously really exciting for them. So just to enjoy that and to embrace it.
Hey John, are you seeing a difference at all with the off-season work you're doing on the skating and that sort of thing? Have you seen that come to the fore yet for you? Or?
Yeah, I think it's always a work in progress. So there's some things that I really like that built some good habits on, and it's obviously on me to kind of continue those things up through the season. I think that's what makes our player development department really special, is obviously great people and working on those things in the off season, but how we emphasize it to continue up those habits and not leave those things that you've been working on all summer long for 7-8 months. Important to stay on top of it and touch on it. So any of those things you just want to make instinctive, things you're not thinking about, you just want to go out there and play. So no doubt feel good about a lot of it, but a lot of work ahead and a lot of things I want to continue to work on and fine tune and improve, and keep pushing the envelope there in my game.
Did you catch any of the second game Saturday?
Yeah, I watched the second game.
Yeah. Thought on Yarncroke, his play, his shot, that release.
Yeah, a couple really nice goals. So great to see Ernie contribute right away and settle in. And anytime you get rewarded and get on the board, obviously it's a good feeling, especially coming to a new place and finding your way and fitting in. So I think in conversations with after we signed him in the summertime through the organization, just knowing how well-rounded his game is and two-way really strong, and how valuable he can be with his versatility. So that shows his ability to step in with Poppy and Bunce and contribute offensively like that.
Hey John, you're speaking of fitting in. What are your impressions of Matt Murray for the 3 days of camp here?
I think Matt's been phenomenal. I think you can just see real focus, attention to detail, and just his competitiveness on every puck, on every play. Just trying to stay sharp and build up his game. Using each and every, not just day, but each and every rep to really try to fight and push himself, just to be sharp and dialed in and ready to go when obviously time comes here in preseason, but as we go along, we get closer to the regular season.
One of the reasons you guys did a doubleheader was so that you could get an extra practice day. rather than having 2 game days or whatever.
Yeah.
As a player, would you rather have the extra practice day or the extra game?
I think probably the extra game. That's what it's, at the end of the day, it's all about. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of practice time throughout the early part of the season. We're going to get a lot of work and a lot of reps. You saw today. It was a good lengthy skate. Touched on a lot of things, and the pace was high. Guys were working and pushing each other hard. So, whatever it is, obviously you want to play and continue to fine tune those details in a game. But practice keep you sharp, allow you to work on some of the fundamentals. Obviously, our structure and our system. And just some of those details within your own game, so you're ready to play when the games come.
Have you noticed any difference in Mitch at this camp compared to last year at this time? I think I heard him give a couple of yelps during the game. He seems a little looser.
I think Mitchie's always like that. I think, obviously, I know he didn't love his start last season, but I still think a lot of parts of his game are really strong. He just wasn't getting rewarded offensively, and when you're just as good as him, you saw him eventually it's going to pay off, and he just exploded in the second half. And, I don't know if I'm right on this stat, but it was either leading the league in scoring or was top 2 there, with however many games left in the year. He played phenomenal. So, his game is just so well-rounded, so good without the puck. Just needs to continue to just be himself and push and work and trust his instincts like he does. He continues to mature and learn more and more about himself, and I think just the dynamic of being in his role and his stature in the game on the team and more comfortable there, and year in and year out you just learn more and have a better understanding, and every year you want to get off to the fastest start possible. That's just not as careers go on, there's ups and downs at different points, and you learn to work through those. And I think one that he started off last year with, not only just because he was playing poorly, but I think you saw tremendous progression in his game in the second half of the year.
So, what are you feeling right now? I gather you're going into the game on Wednesday. So, what's your mindset right now?
Just making the most out of today and tomorrow in practice, and getting ready to go. It's my first game action, so just trying to prepare and be ready for Wednesday.
How is your approach, or maybe this team's approach towards goaltending, different from what you might have experienced in Ottawa or Pittsburgh?
I don't know. I think what's important from my end is just to take care of my business. Like I always say, one day at a time. So, but in terms of that, it doesn't change much from day to day. Just trying to take advantage of the practice time that we have here and the preseason, and getting ready for game one.
How have you found the first few days back and getting that opportunity to kind of ease into it, before getting started against much more offense?
Yeah, I think the pace and the energy out there has been incredible. I think guys are excited. That shows in practice, and like I said, personally for me, just been trying to make the most out of the last few days, and looking forward to getting back into some real game action here.
A few of the guys have talked about the respect factor games. You won those 2 times in Pittsburgh. How much do you still draw on those days in those 7 days?
Well, I learned a lot from those days for sure, but I think again, what they taught me is that the importance of taking things one day at a time. Now, controlling what you can control and doing that to the best of your abilities, and not worrying about the rest. So that's where my focus lies.
What's the most valuable thing Zach has to brings to the ice?
A lot of things. I think his compete level. He's great in front of the net. He's a hard-working guy. He cares. He's a great teammate. I don't think I can pick just one. I think he's, I know him pretty well from my Pittsburgh days too. So I can't say enough, good things about him.
In what area do you think he's grown the most since those Pittsburgh days?
I think he's just, he's a very responsible player. He's a good two-way player. Does everything the right way. Never cheats on offense. Plays good defense. I think he's just a really well-rounded player.
Now, when you approach the position, I found it interesting the other day, Alex Georgiev was asked sort of what his system is like, and he responded by saying, my system is stop the puck. Is it as simple as that sometimes in your mind, or do you like to have a foundation of systems work in your mind? How is your approach?
Well, I think you need both. I think you need a good foundation to base your game off of, and then you let your mind take over and you read the play, and I think you need to have both sides of that.
After a bad game, do you dwell on it, or do you let it go?
No, I think the number one thing you need as a goalie is a short-term memory. So win or lose, good game, bad game, whatever it may be, you start the next day fresh, and I think that's how we all take each day.
Getting, obviously new goalie coach in Sanford, new to the organization, but how does it help you that John's here and you have that familiarity with somebody like that?
Well, I think it helped a lot for the transition. Now I'm all working with Curtis, so it's really nice to to have him there, and we've hit it off pretty well, I think. And he's a very detail-oriented guy, and obviously played for a long time. He's very relatable, and he's been just a real treat to work with thus far.
Did you ever cross paths with him before?
With Curtis?
Yeah.
No, not before I got here.
Okay.
What do you anticipate that moment will be like when, say, skating out there, big night, they're celebrating the 72 team, you're wearing that crest for the first time in front of fans?
Yeah, I think it'll be cool for sure, but I think I'm trying to get the most out of it and prepare for for game one of the season. That's the first step towards that. So I'm just hoping to enjoy it and make the most out of it.
How did that feel Saturday, Erik?
Felt good. It was fun to be back. Obviously they scored a goal there, and I kind of want that back. But other than that, I felt good.
How would you say that your mindset's changed coming into this season as opposed to last season with some NHL experience under your belt now?
It's a little bit different. I obviously got a little bit more experience, or I got experience last year playing in the NHL. So I think I'm a little bit better prepared this season for what do you have to do to play on that level. So I feel a little bit more. I took steps last season that I'm going to try to bring into this season.
Anything specific that you worked on in the summer?
Just pace on my skates, like get faster around my posts, and strong as the post. So that's kind of what I've been working on, and obviously like rebounds and tracking and all that kind of stuff too.
What did you learn about yourself through that run in March and April when you had those starts here?
I think I learned that I'm capable to play at this level. Played a lot of games there during a short period of time, so I think that was a good test for me, and learned a lot of new stuff. So I felt like I'm got a few things to work on, but I felt like I can definitely play well at this level.
But overall, I guess that there's a confidence boost for you to get that knowledge from those 14 games. That's good for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play 14 games there. I think I played, and got some playoff experience too, and to be around that team during playoffs and get that experience too. So it was a lot of learning lessons for me.
What do you make of Curtis Sanford and his approach to working with you guys? Is it much different than working with Steve last year?
He's been great. Yeah, he's very a lot of attention to detail, and we're already trying to work on my game a lot, and he's been great since day one. So I look forward to keep working with him.
What's the focus with him? Is it style, structure, confidence? What does he focus on when he's talking to you?
It's a lot of structure. Get to my positions fast, and be ready early for shots, and ready for the next situation. So it's a lot of details, but I'd say that those are the main things right now.
How is the way that they're doing things here different from what you grew up with in Sweden? In terms of sometimes you guys just kind of work out on your own rather than work out with the skaters, right? Like, how do you do things differently?
I'd say it's very similar. We do our goalie stuff before practice, and do video and a lot of that. So I've been fortunate to have goalie coaches all my career. So it's not a big adjustment or a change here.
When did you return to Toronto?
A little bit more than 2 weeks before camp. So
So you had a bit of time to work on this.
yeah.
Do anything fun and exciting during the summer, like to take a break?
From
Like
hockey
during the
or
whole- yeah.
yeah, we went on a couple of vacations. Me and my girlfriend. We got engaged, and it was a good summer for sure.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's Jake Muslin progressing? Do you have some results from the evaluation?
I don't have that though. I know he got on the ice today, so that's a sign that things have progressed well for him. I think last I spoke with him, I know he was having better days and feeling a lot better for sure. But I haven't gotten a report on how the skate today went, so I don't know how we'll progress from here.
How about Adam Gadet?
Gadet banged up his shoulder in the game the other night, so he's going to be day to day. We'll have to just kind of see how he is tomorrow and take it from there.
And David Kampf, personal obviously, but
Yeah, personal day for him. I'll leave it to him whether he wants to discuss that.
Did the situation with Jake, coach, just kind of come out of the blue? Because last Wednesday he said he felt real good, and then Thursday he just couldn't go.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it kept up. I mean, there was a couple little things that were bugging him leading up to camp, that really weren't prevalent all summer long. But as things ramped up, there was a couple things that were on his radar. But he was feeling good enough to go, and then not so much. So, like I said, not related to anything he went through last season. Just something he's dealing with right now.
you never like injuries, but are they just sort of part of the game, or are they a concern to you right now?
It's part of the game. I mean, obviously, you don't like them to happen in camp because it's time when you're trying to get everybody up to speed, and it's an important time of year, to get ready for the season. That said, I guess if we were to look at it from Muzzin's perspective, I look at it last season when he came back in the playoffs, missed a significant amount of time there, and not a lot of time to get ready for game action. Then he's thrown right into the most intense time of year, and I thought he played his best hockey of the season. So less concerned about it for a veteran like him. Engvall, a whole different situation there. Again, I mean, he's athletically and from a fitness perspective, he's a freak in nature that way. So I'm not concerned about that. But it's nice to have the guys on the ice this time of year and learning the structure. And there's some little subtleties that we've changed within our structure, and it's important to be around for that. But they're in every meeting and around the team, so that's helpful.
Is Engvall closer with Sheldon at all, or how's he?
Yeah, I think he's getting there. He's been on the ice. I'm not sure how many times now, but certainly, 3-4 times he's been out there and continues to progress.
If you could map out, and you probably are actually mapping out Fraser Mitten's career path, what would it look like from this camp to when he ultimately makes this team?
Yeah, I think it'd be tough to put any sort of ceiling on a guy like that for sure. In particular, I look at it right now. He's gotten better every single day he's been here. It's been fun to work with him and watch him right from the prospects tournament, or even I guess take it back a little further into development camp and then meeting him at the draft. But he just has a lot happening with his game. He's extremely competitive, physical, doesn't mind getting involved in the physical part of the game. Very smart positionally. He's in the right spots. He's a worker. Asks good questions. He's just got a maturity to his game that you don't find often coming fresh out of the draft, especially when you get out of the top half of the first round. So from that end of it, I've been extremely impressed with him. Like I said, he's gotten better every single day that he's been here, and he's soaking it all in. And I really liked him in the game the other night. And there's a one clip where he tracks down Stutzel from behind, almost a zone or so away, and doesn't stop moving until he gets there and takes the puck off of him. Those are the kind of things I think he does extremely well that tell me that he's going to be definitely going to be a very responsible two-way center that can kill penalties and all that. But I think there's enough of a skill set there that he's going to continue to get better offensively too.
On the prospect front, what's Ty Voigt showing you in practices here?
I've liked what I've seen from Ty. Going back to when I watched him in the prospects tournament, I know he's dealt with injuries and such that we didn't get much in our camp last season. It was a very short prospects tournament for him a year ago. But when he got in this year there, I liked his game. Obviously, he's a guy that can make plays and puts up big points, but I saw a more competitive side of him than what I had expected. And we wanted to give him a little bit more of a taste of it here in practice today and have him with the NHL guys and all of that. So, certainly a super talented guy. He's got to continue to get stronger and stay healthy and keep working at his game, when the puck's not on his stick, because when it's on his stick, he's got that pretty figured out.
What did you make of how Jordy looked alongside Morgan on the right side today?
Yeah, I wouldn't take much out of it from the practice today. Did want to get Jordy some reps on the right side, though. That was something coming into camp we wanted to do. We've gotten that with Mete and Dahlstrom, and now wanted to give Ben some runway there. Haven't watched the practice back yet or anything like that, and I'm not going to read too much into it. But I did want to give him those reps. Wanted him to play with Morgan. I thought Ben had a good day in the game the other night and showed the competitive side of him. He's going to keep the play in front of him. He's going to defend really well. I think no matter who his partner is, that they'll benefit from that.
What have you liked from Mete in that spot?
The thing I liked about Mete is, he just uses feet to get out of trouble. The way he skates, I played and coached enough, at least enough against him to know that he can skate, but to see it again from our side of it, times when we were in bad spots and he used his feet to get us into good space and keep the play alive, or to use his feet to kill a play, that really stands out. But again, you just see the players who've played in the NHL, you can see that early in camp it makes a difference. The experience and the confidence that they bring is really obvious. So from that end of it, I think he's shown very well.
Does the feet movement, is that helpful when you're playing the offside, or is that just something, a characteristic regardless?
I think it helps for sure, because it, again, like I was saying, it gets them out of trouble. And a lot of times when you're on the offside, you get in trouble a little more frequently than most. Brody's a guy that doesn't necessarily do it with his feet, does it with his brain, his body positioning. But having the ability to escape bad spots is important. And on his offside, I think he's fared well with that. It is a tricky thing, but like I said, I like what we've seen from him. And we've talked about it between Mete and Ben and Dahlstrom. Those guys that have spent time in the NHL, you can see them showing well early in camp here.
Sheldon, once you get through Wednesday's game, do you plan to give Murray and Samsonov full 60s in the remaining preseason matches?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. How Murray gets through his game, but that is the plan that starting on Friday, that Samsonov would get the full go there.
Did you say that you watch video from practice as a habit?
Yeah.
No? What do you learn from that you wouldn't learn from what they do in a game?
To be honest, when we watch practice back, a lot of times we're not always focused on the players. It's more we're focused on the coaches. How did we do? And we, what we wanted the practice to look like, how we drew up the drills, and how we designed things, the flow of practice. How did it actually play out? And we're more assessing ourselves. But certainly this time of year, you're looking at individual players, but how they're playing inside the structure. Is there little things that maybe little nuances of the structure and the system? Are they getting it right, or are they not? Are we a little bit off on our positioning and things like that? And if that's the case, can we talk to the individual about it? But a lot of times we're looking at it to see how we did as coaches.
How do you think Malgin looked with John and Willie, and do you envision other guys getting that chance here in the next couple of weeks?
I thought he looked really good. Once again today, just made a ton of plays. Puck came to him, and he's a confident guy, protecting the puck, getting it to others. But also, I think what we've seen from him in this camp early on is an extra hunger and competitiveness to get the puck back. And if you're going to be an undersized, skilled player that's going to have any success in the NHL, you have to have that intangible, or it's really difficult. And that's, to me, what he's shown. I guess if there's any area that I've seen that's different about him, is that little extra hunger away from the puck. You do that, you're going to get the puck on your stick a lot more. When he has the puck, he's very good. So I really like that in terms of how that shakes out. I think that will be dependent on perhaps how it goes there with Malgi. Obviously was getting that look and is out now. So that opportunity has presented itself, and Malgin gets in there today, and I thought he did a good job with it.
I don't know how much you focus on what each player is doing off-season wise to get ready, but talking to some of the older guys, it seems like there's more of a focus for flexibility, core activation, and not so much explosive and doing some of the things in order to get longevity in the career. Are you noticing that with some of your veterans as they kind of prepare themselves going in?
Yeah, I do notice that. Obviously, it's we've got experts that spend their time on that with our players off the ice, and what's best for them, what's right for them. Part of it is the player knowing their body over the course of time in the NHL, you know what works for you, or how you can keep yourself feeling good and healthy, and then making tweaks along the way. I think, you look at a guy like Giordano and talking with him, that this was the first off season like this that he's had, where he's remained in the facility, where he's had, between skills coaches or strength coaches and nutritionists and culinary staff, available. Like it's the whole operation there that can help a player optimize, their off season, and I think that's an important piece. But I think over time, each guy figures out what works for them, and you certainly see as guys are getting older, they're spending a lot more time in maintenance and maintaining their body, stretching, the rollouts, time on the table, those kind of things. Just, there's a certain routine that goes with keeping yourself fresh. I mean, John Tavares to me, he's got it down to a science and knows his body as well as anyone. And watching him go through his routine is something to behold, because it's very meticulous.